This is episode 16 of Give Me a Chance, and it is your host to speaking, Vittoria. Hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Give Me a Chance after a long Easter weekend. Last week we didn't have any new episodes coming out, but this week we are back at it with a new story. Today we will listen to Rosemary's story and learn how she got the chance to change her life after being confronted with losing so many people close to her in a short period of time. But most of all, Rosemary's story is about being resilient and determined to get yourself a second chance at life. Let's now go listen to Rosemary's story. Hi Rosemary, and welcome to Give Me a Chance. How are you doing?
I am well. I'm excited about the podcasts.
Oh, me too. It's really, I'm really grateful that I'm talking to you right now, this evening for me, in any case. So, indeed, Rosemary, because we have so many things to talk about, shall we start talking about yourself a little bit? Can you give us some background?
Okay. My name is Rosemary Pambwa. I've been widowed now for 20 years. I lost my husband in 2000, in the year 2000. I always want to say 2000. 2000. I'm a single mom of 3 beautiful children. When my husband passed away, my youngest was only 5 years old. She barely remembers her dad. Now she has to learn about her dad through the book that I wrote, Assume or Heal. I'm a relationship coach, life transformational expert. I also host retreats. I'm a healer. I do Reiki. I'm a Reiki master, and I'm also an angelic healer. I love to work with women that have gone through widowhood, divorce, or heartbreak to help them to heal from their past. Once they heal from their past, they can decide whether they want to go back into the dating scene or they want to remain single. If they decide to go back into the dating scene, then I will give them the tools to get back into the dating scene with a bang. And I will also give them all the tips and equip them with all the tools that they need and the knowledge so that they can date smart instead of being strung along with these time waster guys.
It's really, really a message of hope, and I can imagine that it's giving you a lot of energy to help these women, realize their dreams and indeed having a second chance at love. You had so many moments in life that were a life changer for you. As you said, indeed, you went through a really grief-stricken period when you lost your husband, and how did that period form you later on?
It was a journey. You know, when you have lost your husband at a young age, like I did, and you are left with 3 young children even, you are thrown back into the singledom arena, as I call it. I was a single mom overnight. And when I married my husband, I never thought I would say goodbye to him at a young age. You know, when you marry the love of your life, when you say I do, you say I do because you think and feel that this is the guy that I'm going to get old with. But guess what? Tomorrow is never promised. We were just married with my husband for 12 years, and our journey ended after 12 years of marriage. And I was devastated. And when you lose your husband at such a young age, you become disabled. You become numb to the world because you just don't know how to navigate that world again. And we're still with 3 young children. Where do you start? What do you do? There are no colleges that train widows, unfortunately. And yet society expects you to know what to do. They expect you to know how to pick up the pieces and move on. It's not as easy as that. My journey got complicated because I continued to lose my family members. I lost my dad I lost all my brothers. I lost all my best friends that were there with me when I lost my husband. I then lost my mom. And just 2019, I lost my youngest brother. And he was the only one that was left in my family that I could have like a shoulder to cry on. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot.
How did you handle it in the first years in which all these events happened? Did you decide to elaborate the pain, or did you try to find a way out?
I became numb to the pain. I became a superwoman. I hid my pain in my work. All I was so focused on was to make money to raise my children. And after I lost my dad, I'm the eldest girl in my family. When my father passed away, I had to step up as the elder sister to look after my sibling, which means I had to bury my grief. I had to put it on the sidelines so that I could deal and help everybody else. I was trying to make sure that everybody else was okay, but I forgot to look after me. And that, after a couple of years, it was haunting me because it turned me into this bitter, angry woman. I was so snappy, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat. I had lots of health issues. I had a lot of my blood pressure levels had skyrocketed. One day I almost had a stroke at work. And I didn't know that, when you are hiding your grief, when you don't deal with your grief face to face, it will be biting you. And you know what? It will kill you too. So I decided that, you know what? I have to do something about this. I was so tired of fighting my grief. I was so tired of proving to people that I can do this. I'm a superwoman. I don't need to be grieving. That's the picture that I was showing to the world, that I'm okay. I can handle this. But the truth is, you can never handle grief by hiding it. You have to face your grief. So I had a tough realization when I almost had a stroke at work. When I got to the doctor's office, he said to me, you have to choose whether to die or to deal with your grief. Whatever is going on in your head, you have to deal with it. And I had no idea how powerful our subconscious mind is. We deal with things each and every day, and you always think, it's okay. It's okay. It's over. It's not over until you deal with it. I was bearing my pain in all sorts of things, but my subconscious mind kept on telling me, you need to deal with it. You need to deal with it. And one day, it brought me down to my knees, and I had to deal with my pain. And the way I dealt with my pain is I went to a women's retreat. That's the day that I actually broke down and started crying, because we were sharing our journeys as widows, as divorcees, and those people that had been heartbroken, but mostly the divorcees and the widows, because we had been coupled and now we were no longer in couples. We had lots of things that we needed to forgive through our journey. We had a lot of people that we needed to forgive as well. And there's lots of anger that we needed to let go, lots of frustrations that we needed to deal with. And on that day, that's when I told myself, enough is enough. I am making a U-turn of my life. I need to let go. I learned to forgive those people that had hurt me, that had betrayed me. I had to sit down and figure out, why do I need to forgive these people? I needed to forgive them so that I can get my freedom back, so that I can get my power back. I needed to forgive them for what they had done to me years back. And when I did that, I reached my aha moment. I felt like, finally, I can breathe.
Did you find yourself responsible for all these years of what have happened?
At one point, yes, I did, because I didn't learn to let go. So, I was also responsible because I didn't give myself permission to grieve. I didn't give myself permission to mourn. Then, to make matters worse, I emigrated from my country and came to North America, here in Canada. And I had to deal with all the culture shock. Everything was new for me. But at the same time, I was also dealing with the separation from my children. We were separated for 6 years. So all that, it was like, it was just a lot. But to me, I didn't realize how much I was dealing with, because the one thing that I wanted to do was to make sure that I bring my kids over to Canada, and that needed money.
You wanted to bring them over because you wanted to give them a better chance at life?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Did you manage?
I managed to do that. After the 6 years, we were reunited. Now they are here. I remember at the airport, I left my youngest daughter. She was only 7 when I left her back in Zimbabwe. But when she came, I couldn't recognize her. I asked my eldest daughter, where is Ropa? And Ropa was standing right next to me. She said, Mom, I'm here. I looked at her and I started crying.
But you made it. You brought them over, and proud of that, and them too. That you really gave them also a chance at a better life in North America, despite everything they went through, despite everything you all went through.
Yeah.
And indeed yourself, how do you look back at all these years of, in a way, sacrifices in which you had to leave your children behind, and you were on your own in North America, fending for yourself?
I look back as a lesson in life, that never give up on your dreams, never give up on who you are. And there's the word that is called resilience. I never knew it existed. I just thought, what, people are heroes. But little did I know that it's called resilience. When you are resilient, doing the things that you were meant to do, you will make it. And nothing is impossible if you put your mind to what you really want to do. I was so determined to make sure that my kids will have a better life. I was so determined to be a better person, because the people that had betrayed me and caused me so much pain, they had wanted me to suffer. They had wanted me to go back to my knees and beg them for help. And I never did. I never did. I showed them that, what? I am made of steel. I can do this. Now they are looking back, they are like, wow, it all paid off. It all paid off. Sometimes in life, we have to make risks in order to reach our goals. We have to be determined and to take, a leap of faith, which is what I did. I took a leap of faith and I left my country, come here to a foreign land, and here I am. Now I'm an author, I'm a coach, my kids are all entrepreneurs.
You really created for yourself the opportunity, despite everything, to make it right again. And now you can really pass it on to other people, I can imagine, because with everything you learned about dealing with grief and the fact that you are coaching women, that is a way of giving back. If you look back at, you've taken very many bold moves to get to the point where you are at. Which action is the one you're most surprised and proud of if you look at them?
The decision that I made to leave my country and leave my kids behind, because that was the boldest move that Emma could ever make. Because I remember when I decided to leave Zimbabwe, I gathered my three kids and I said, Mom is planning to leave the country. I'm planning to go overseas. I am not sure where I'm going and what's going to happen, but Mom will come back for you. And I remember all three kids started crying.
Yeah.
And I said, but Mom will come back for you. And all of them, they nodded, but crying. And they said, yes, Mom, we know. You will come back for us. We trust you. We love you. And I did.
Yeah. Rosemary, this is a fantastic story. And I'm really honored to have you here on my podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
This was Rosemary's story. After losing her husband and so many people close to her in a short period of time, Rosemary found the strength to give herself a second chance at life by traveling to North America, although that meant leaving her children behind. But the greatest opportunity came from learning to address her grief and learning to forgive. Rosemary is now an author, a life coach, and she has managed, indeed, to bring her children to North America to get a better life from herself and them too. This was the end of this episode. Have you ever had the chance to change your life, or do you know anybody who has? Please get in touch with us and leave a comment here below. And if you have enjoyed this episode, do not forget to like and subscribe to this channel, and see you next time. Give me a chance on your screen and in your ears.